Hey, it's March 22nd, at least for another hour, and it's not raining, so I can actually video myself. It's another episode of my sketchy walk to the Mac stop from my workplace, because when I leave my place of work back here, I cut through the old Marshall High School and get up to the Mac stop, and it's not like, usually at least one odd or interesting thing is going to happen. Something that might make me reach down at my side ready to grab something to defend myself with. And you've got this has been going on for over 2 weeks. The sketchy RV with I assume that's just a generator going. I mean, hey, at least they're living. I mean, as long as whoever's in there doesn't come out and mess with me. If you're homeless or living out of a vehicle, you got to park somewhere. But it's still kind of sketchy, and I've seen some sketchy types come out of there. Now, what makes this particular stretch sketchy at times is there's a few corners you got to go around. I gotta go around these trees right here. Got to wrap up and go up this way, and you never know. Right here, there could have been somebody here waiting to stab me. Well, see, here's the trade-off, is that I go this way because it's the quickest way to get to my Mac stop. And I'm actually in a little bit of a rush, even though my knee is killing me. This is my third day in a row working, and my knee started hurting towards the end of my first shift. So I've endured two and a quarter work shifts with just my knee sore. So it's just bothering me because I haven't had time to rest. And hopefully, because it tightened up a lot tonight, and I'm hoping it doesn't tighten up too bad to that I can't walk tomorrow, and then I'll have to call out. It's a short shift, but I don't want to be calling out now that I'm finally back at work. But yeah, this is the quickest way, which right now is kind of necessary for me to get from my workplace to the Max, take the Max, get off, walk home. See, the negative trade-off is not a lot of people around. Somebody wants to mess with me, there's not really anyone around to help me. There's some homes up here, but this is all kind of, no offense, but it's real sketchy. Not so much off over here, but it's real sketchy off over here. I don't even know if they'd give a shit if somebody was messing with me. So nobody here to help me, but the benefit is there's nobody around, so I'm much less likely to encounter someone sketchy or someone that's going to cough their COVID in my face, which would be the case if I went over to Powell Boulevard over here, or a good old reliable Holgate up over here. So, oh god, it's this knee, my right knee, just the left side of my right knee has just been, and I think a lot of it is mostly just that I didn't work for a year, and so my body's having to adjust to it's a lot more than the walks that I go on, so it's still stressful. And this used to be Marshall High School. Now they just use it to hold other school students while they fix up their schools. I saw a sign up there that said Benson Polytech, so I'm guessing Benson's moving in here next. Marshall wasn't. I think Franklin was in here first, then Grant High School, and if school was open, it would be Madison right now. They're changing their name though, and then Benson's gonna move in here, it seems like. But on my main channel, Steve the Amateur Historian, I have a 3-part piece about notorious Oregon serial killer named Dayton Leroy Rogers, who, considering how many women he killed and in such a short succession of time, it's kind of astounding that he's not really a well-known serial killer, even in Oregon lore. And he left a lot of the bodies of his victims in a rural area way south of Portland, which I visit in this series. But the first body that was found out in that area belonged to a 16-year-old named Reotha Giles, who was a high school dropout, and she went to Marshall right here. And she dropped out of school because she started being a prostitute, and she did it because it was an easy, she was 16 and it was an easy way to make money. That was really it. She could stay in school and be lucky to find a side job, or she could just say the hell with school and start making money now. And a lot of Rogers' victims were prostitutes, and a lot of them were high school dropouts, and they dropped out from schools all over the place. One of them dropped out of Benson High School, one of them dropped out of Cleveland, one of them went to George Washington High School when that was still open, because that closed in 81. But anyway, yeah, so that 3-part documentary is coming up. I've had it done for almost a month now, and it will go live on my Steve the Amateur Historian channel before too long. So this security vehicle driving away right there, like as I was approaching the stop, it pulled up and stopped right next to me real abruptly. Security person had the radio on way high, but like it was a woman, and she stopped and she just like stared at me. And then she stayed there literally as I walked all the way up and around and got up towards coming up onto the platform here. And then, did a little circle and then slowly departed. And I'm like, what is your deal? I'm noticing more cars piling up too, I actually think. Yeah. So that person's in their car, but they have like a laptop or something set up. Okay, there's somebody right there. I'm not dealing with that. Yeah, this one right here. There's somebody like loitering on the other side of the door. I don't like that. Maybe they're just hanging out, or maybe they're waiting for someone like me to come along so they can mess with me. Yeah, I didn't care for that. Like, there were some other guys standing outside doing something with that truck, so maybe they were all just kind of outside just doing stuff together, but I didn't like any part of that. So I'm like, I'm gonna meander over to this side of the street, which I seldom do, because I go the other way. It logistically doesn't make a lot of sense for me to be on this side of this. Oh, do you like I'm clean shaven? Woo-wee. Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to be on this side of the street, because I go that way and then I continue to go that direction. So it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense for me to be on the side of the street opposite of the direction I'm eventually going to turn down. But I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm just trying to make the time pass and trying to ignore the fact that my knee is driving me nuts. And now I'm kind of in a crappy position, because it's very possible that my knee could just tighten up, and like I might not even be able to walk tomorrow, because yesterday my knee was just sore, just kind of hurting, like it was a fresh injury. And I went home, my knee bothered me for about an hour after I got home, but I just tried to ice it and do all that stuff. And I woke up today and it wasn't really bothering me, and then it started bothering me about an hour and a half before my work shift, and it was more like tightened up today at work. And so it's been a lot harder to walk on, even though it's technically didn't hurt as much tonight. So like I could go to bed and it could just cinch up overnight, and I work a job that revolves around walking around, and like if it's something in my knee, I can't even just stand in one spot. That standing in one spot all day would actually be worse than having to walk around because I would just stand there and it would just go, So in that scenario, I would probably have to call out of work. The problem is, this is the first time since I've worked there. They give us radios, so obviously so we can communicate with one another. We've been doing it for years, like a decade. This is the first time where I was given a radio without an earpiece. We always have an earpiece. And when I said I was going to go get one, they literally told me there weren't any left. So I just had to have the radio in my pocket. And because, we just opened back up, we weren't open that long, it was fairly slow, nothing going on the radio. And because I'm used to having an earpiece to take off at the end of the day, I clock out. Oh, God damn, it's fucking weird. Anyway, I'm gonna start moving a little faster. Sore knee or some, no sore knee. There's some fucking guy over here. Yeah. I'm about ready to pull my fucking knife out. That's directed at me. Never ends. Yeah, I'm just first and foremost, trying to get. I know most people that are just like that. They're gonna kind of just stand in one spot and yell at you, but that has been happening so much since I've been back at work. Just that kind of stuff. I was vlogging last week, and I turned and cut around the hospital here because there was a guy sitting at the bus stop back there just screaming, just like that guy. Okay, yeah, he's not following me at least. Again, they usually don't. They usually just kind of scream and yell at you and then stick to themselves, but you never know when someone's going to get physical. And so anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, I'm used to at the end of the day, if I have the radio, taking my earpiece out. And so that wasn't there tonight. So I realized as I'm on the max to go home, I still have my radio from work. Never done that before. In all my years that I've been there, I have the radio, because it was just in my pocket. I forgot all about it. So now I'm okay, well, if I have to call out, I have the radio, and that's kind of I don't know, I feel like that's kind of a touchy situation, even though, I know they could grab another radio and give it to a floor person. We have less staff than usual. We'd be able to do that. We could give them one of the podium radios that we have. So I'm just hoping that if I wake up tomorrow and my knee is just oh my God, I can't freaking, I need a day to rest it because I work tomorrow and the next day. I'm just hoping that if that's the situation, they aren't well, you need to bring the radio in today. And I'm how? The whole reason I'm not calling out because I'm sick or because I'm stranded somewhere. I'm calling out because I can't walk. How am I supposed to walk? Now, maybe I could ask my girlfriend's parents if they're even around. But you see my situation. So it just kind of sucks in general. I do have a valid, it wasn't just I was dumb and lazy, and I've never done this before. I've never taken a radio home with me on accident. So, the reason this happened is because it's the first time where literally I couldn't get an earpiece. And habitually, I'm used to having that. So, I didn't even notice I had the radio. No, even as I went to leave, I was looking, I literally went into the office and was talking to multiple managers. And the radio's right there on my hip. And they didn't notice. Hey, Steve, can we get that radio before you go? And I would have been oh, crap, I forgot I even had this. So I turned it off once I noticed I still had it. So maybe there's some juice in it. And if I do work tomorrow, fortunately, I'm the only usher. So it's not I have to worry about another usher needing the radio. I'm rambling about this a lot longer than I need to. But again, I'm just kind of filling the time till I get home. But anyway, that's the sitch that I'm dealing with. Anyway, so I'm almost home. So as usual, at least one interesting thing happened. That guy just screaming at me. But other than that, I mean, that and my knee, things not too bad. So another sketchy walk from work where it looks like I'm gonna make it home.